Hello guys, welcome back to the multimedia channel. I hope that you're having a great day. It's a new week, another week to be productive, and I hope that it's already off to a good start for you. Today there are just a few updates, of course, as it concerns the Super Eagles, and of course we're aware that they are already in Abidjan for their very crucial encounter against Benin Republic, which takes place today. Of course, it's very crucial because, of course, we remember how the match against South Africa ended last week. It was a really disappointing outing for the Super Eagles. We really do hope that they would do things differently today against Benin Republic because, as far as I'm concerned, they are supposed to be topping that table. But just before I get right into what we have today, I want to talk about the NPFL, the Nigerian Professional Football League. So yesterday was the Oriental Derby, rather. That's a match between Rangers International of Enugu and then Enyimba Football Club of Aba. So that is what is referred to as the Oriental Derby, of course, in Nigeria. So I was there live. Yeah, I was there live. So I saw everything as it happened, and to be honest, I was really impressed, particularly because of the turnout. Thousands and thousands of football fans in the state and across the southeast were actually present to actually watch that match. And so I'm talking about my experience now, right? So I already bought my ticket, before I got to the venue. I already bought it online. But the funny part is that I didn't even use my tickets to get in because it got to a point where the crowd became too much and then they just had to allow everybody in, right? So the fact that you had your ticket wasn't enough for you to just get in smoothly, right? So I had to struggle my way in. You know what I mean by when I say thousands and thousands of people. I don't think that we have ever had that kind of crowd at that stadium. I don't think so. Yeah, so like I said, I was really impressed with the turnout, and unfortunately that match was suspended because in the 90 plus, I think, 7 minutes or so, the referee actually awarded the penalty to Rangers, and before you knew what was happening, supporters of Enyimba Football Club actually jumped into the field. Of course, they felt it was not deserved, and then some fight ensued, and then of course they had to suspend that match. And this is one thing that has become part of football in Nigeria. There's hardly a time where you usually have these kinds of scenarios, matches suspended, because penalty was awarded, and then the other club are feeling like they were cheated and all of that. And it's something that hardly happens in Europe. So if before a match is suspended in Europe, the much I know about, it's either due to weather or maybe technical issues generally, but you hardly see scenarios where fans jump into the field and then they are fighting because the ref awarded the penalty. It's crazy, and this is one thing we really need to work on as far as the NPFL is concerned. But generally, I was impressed. Of course, the turnout, particularly, like I said, it's of course there's room for improvement, right? There's room for improvement, and it shows that we can really achieve a lot if we are committed to achieving a lot as a country, and of course as it concerns football in Nigeria. Yeah, so moving forward to what we have today, like I said, the Super Eagles are already in Abidjan, for their match against Benin Republic after that disappointing draw against South Africa in Uyo. Now they are now five, so they occupy the fifth position on the table with just 3 points from 3 draws. It's disappointing. I know many people do not expect this kind of performance from the Super Eagles, but we hope that moving forward they would really improve in their play. Now, so they could go second on the table if they're able to win Benin Republic today. Of course, time is 5 p.m. If they're able to grab a win, of course they would go second, and that would now. So what will now depend on whether they will further go down on the table is if Rwanda plays, their own game tomorrow and then they win. So, but we'll see how that goes. And of course, we're wishing them well because we really had high hopes going into these qualifier matches. We had high hopes. Of course, inviting people all the way from Europe to come back and play is no child's play. Yeah. So moving forward, Finidi George, of course, has said that he and the players would give their all to win the game against Jamot Ross Benin Republic side, and that they cannot afford to lose again or to even draw. Yeah, so we're wishing him well. It's not just enough to come out and say you cannot afford to lose or draw. We need to see you, put in the work. And Jamotro, of course, himself has said that he and his side are prepared and that they would go all out to win Super Eagles. So we'll just wait and see how it goes. Yeah, everything starts and ends in the field. People can just talk and, brag and all of that. So Finidi has actually spoken out about his decision to not feature Victor Boniface in that match against South Africa. Of course, we knew how social media went crazy after the game ended and Victor Boniface didn't really get a chance to play. Many fans were criticizing him and already beginning to question his capacity to actually lead the Super Eagles to the promised land. But he's come out to say that it was a tactical decision, that his intention was actually to bring on Victor Boniface in that match. But after, Ajayi, who plays in the midfield, developed injury and couldn't continue, he had to bring in another midfielder to solidify things. But I feel like he should have still brought in Victor Boniface into the game. I mean, I think one good thing about good players is that they are able to play almost in every position. So I feel like if he had brought him in, they would have found a way of switching positions with someone in the midfield, and I mean that would have sort of settled things. But of course, we hope that Boniface gets a chance to actually play today and show what he has got, because of course we know how fantastic he is as a player. And of course, there were reports also that the Leverkusen star was not in great physical condition when he actually entered the camp. That was when he arrived, and some reports had it that he was overweight and all of that. But we just wait and see how things pan out, really. But I believe that he would get a chance. Because, like I said, he's one fantastic player that we missed in the AFCON tournament. Yeah. So moving on. Ex-international James Igwilo has actually urged Finidi George to consider building a team B for the Super Eagles, so that when there are questions around injury of players, it wouldn't really be a source of concern, you understand. So, and I think I see reasons in what he's saying. So it's just like you have clubs like Man City in England. So whenever a player gets injured, it's usually not much of a problem replacing him with another player, because you already have others who are well trained, who can actually step in and also deliver on the job. So I mean, I hope it's something that Finidi George would consider moving forward. The fact is that clearly, as things stand, if he doesn't get a win for the Super Eagles, it means his job is threatened. So he really needs to, see what he can do to make sure that he grabs a win for the Super Eagles and for Nigeria, of course. And it completely depends on the players, if you ask me. Beyond having the coach who gives directions and everything, the players also need to be committed to the game. You understand, to the vision and the goal. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, and then we'll see how their subsequent games would end. Yeah, so moving on, MTN has actually, thrown its weight behind the Super Eagles, asking them to go and soar, and also calling on Nigerians to actually support the players, as they are out there representing the country. Yeah, so moving on, Super Eagles captain, former captain, so to say, Musa, has been turbaned as the Shetima of Kwalon Kafna Nguru in Yobe State. That's very funny. So basically, he got a traditional title, of course, because of all that he's been doing, his philanthropic gestures. I mean, that's one thing I love about Ahmed Musa. If you ask me, he's such a nice guy. I mean, outside of the pitch, he's loved by his people, and he's loved, as far as I'm concerned, in the entire north. So this is me congratulating him, for his latest achievement. He actually took to Twitter to, share a video of the entire process of how he was turbaned and how he received the traditional title, and how massive the support from the people were. Yeah, so as usual, just share your thoughts on the comment section. Where do you see the Super Eagles finishing in their table? And do you think that Finidi George would keep his job as the coach of the Super Eagles, or do you think that he will be shown the door if the Super Eagles do not qualify? Because I think that's like part of the terms. He's expected to really help the Super Eagles to qualify, to at least get out of this group stage, and then of course qualify for the World Cup in 2026. He also talk about the NPFL, the fact that I mean, there's a lot of improvement. We now see more people coming to watch matches. What are your expectations moving forward? Thank you very much for watching, as always. Bye for now.